There we
Good
are.
afternoon. Mr. Jones,
Fuck.
good evening.
Good evening,
How are
sir.
you?
I'm good, thanks. All the better for you brushing that tarmac out of your hair. Head and Shoulders works again.
It hasn't got into my hair yet. I may have, incorrectly operated the machine and put a bucket load of it in around my feet, but it hasn't got my hair yet. We're all right. Yeah.
So
The
what
machine
are you
came
what
a
are
day
you
early.
what are you tarmacking at the moment?
All the way around my house in the lane, and if we get a couple more lorry loads, I'll do around the sheds and stuff as well. What can
Minimum
you
4
say?
inches deep?
Nope.
No?
Inch to inch. No, it's not
Okay.
finished tar. So it's tar planings that I'm just going to put in as a wee bit more hard fill and roll it. And then it'll all come back together and it'll allow my darling daughter, because she wants a bicycle, so she can rally around the street on a bicycle and clean the place up a bit. So yeah, it's just to sort of take the bad look off the place. But no, it's not an actual finished tarmac. That'll be next summer, I'd say.
The fella came to my house wanting to tarmac our driveway, said I needed a minimum 4 inches. But sure.
He's
Anyways,
correct.
right. For driveway.
Yeah, for proper tarmacking, yeah. But
Okay.
we'll leave our levels. I'm assuming that we'll have our levels correct. It's not as if we're just firing it out of the bobcat and rolling it and hoping for the best. It's a very professional operation we're running.
What time? All right. Well, enough of the quips and digs at each other, guys. It's been a while since we've done a live in the group, so we'll cover what we've been up to over the last sort of 3 or 4 months. A lot of developments with Amazon, as I'm sure that's why you're here. A lot of developments in terms of what we're doing with iGen, and family is a consideration now for both of us. So it's certainly a busy period. Eamon, I'll spend a couple of minutes here just sharing the live link to people who wanted reminders. Is this live?
Yeah, that's what I was checking on my phone, because I was like, I'm looking at an Facebook page in front of me and the hunt's showing, but I'm checking it here on my phone.
Just sharing the live.
We are good.
Well, so
yeah. So let me think. While you ping out all the links you want me to talk and fill a bit of dead time so it looks a bit more professional. Certainly. My unique party piece. So yeah, it has been a few months since you and I have done any sort of live social media event. And I've been busy. Don't know about you, but I've been very busy. iGen, my own business, doing a bit of prep, new baby in the house, sleepless nights, trying to get to the gym 3 nights a week. Signed up to do a cycling challenge, and my training is grossly behind on that one. Currently doing a 100-day, 100 push-up challenge, which is 100 push-ups a day for 100 days. So far, I haven't missed a day. We're 24 days in. So, considering this time last year, I was struggling to do 10 in a row. I can now do about 40 odd in a row. But take my word on that, we're not.
2,500 push-ups nearly.
So far done 2,400, yeah. So 10,000, so 7,500 to go. Be grand. Put some shoulders in you. Within the world of Amazon, we have been focusing more on our own brand and brand partnership due to, well, it was always a focus that we wanted to sort of move towards. So over the last year, it is something we've been more concentrated our efforts on. It's a slow burn, that one, but it is demonstrating good results. I would say our turnover is half what it was maybe 18 months ago, and our profits are the same. So cash flow
for your buck.
Yeah, cash flow, I would say there's less money knocking about, but it's a lot more stable. The peaks and troughs are gone out of it. Things are a heck of a lot more stable within the business, and yeah, it's nicer. Um, it allows you to sleep a hell of a lot easier at night, um, which is always good. So, plan is to look for more funding down the line and then start scaling up what we've got at a nice baseline and bring it up higher. Got a loan offer this morning, 105k over 24 months, 5.7% interest monthly,
Oh,
which was working back, paying back, borrow 105, pay back 189. And I sent a very nice, polite message going, I think there must be some miswires that wouldn't be of interest to you. Happy to look at other things, but that wouldn't be something of an interest. And then he quite quickly phoned, and I couldn't help myself. I said if I went to local paramilitaries, they would lend me at much keener rates. I couldn't help myself. I was like, that is just disgusting. So he was like, oh, well, that's not what it's meant for. And I'm like, well, we've had 3 phone calls, and I clearly articulated what I was after. I don't have a very high opinion of you. Go away. But yeah, within the world of Amazon, there's been massive changes. Our fearless leader and potentially new pontiff, the number, was he 43rd, 46th president, Mr. Trump, has brought in sweeping tariffs, which has sort of thrown the fox among the pigeons in that one in America for private label. We have IP craziness in the UK. We have people then coming in copying listings. We've got OA bots coming out their ears. So OA's, price wars are just crazy there. And we then have UK marketplaces not running as many physical sales, so RA is a bit questionable as well. So you're still looking at from all angles going, what the heck? But as I said, I've managed to half my turnover and maintain my profit margin, my net margin. So it's not what happens, it's how you deal with it. And I do genuinely feel for those doing private label in America, because it's one thing to say, oh, should you buy from Thailand or buy from somewhere else, but there is still now going to be additional tariffs. There also is a thing, if you're getting something quite specialist made, there may not be the opportunity to fabricate it elsewhere. I watched one company, they make customizable high heel shoes, and they're like, we work with one factory in China because they're the only ones with the tooling that can make this because it's a patented product. We can't set this up in America without spending maybe 20 million on a factory, and we just don't have that sort of money. So there will be winners and losers in this. It will not be all plain sailing for everybody, but such is an economy.
I think it's plain sailing for anyone.
Yeah.
It's changed for everyone. So, do you think he's got much of an idea what he's at? Trump.
Yes, definitely does. So, in fairness, it has all been done before. Now, as long as he doesn't try and invade Russia during the winter, I think he'll be more successful than the person he's currently trying to emulate. Because I read an article this morning that he's now going to start paying hero mothers to have children, because we need more strong Aryan, is that a step too far? Children in America. But with regards to the economy and all sort of jibes aside, Donald Trump is no one pulling the levers. He might be the head of the operation, he might be the spokesperson, but he's not the one making the decisions. At the minute, the federal government has until mid to end July to refinance 9 trillion of debt, because at current interest rates, they go bang in about, 70 days, 80 days? No, maybe about another 100. So they're not in good drying ground there. So by bringing in all these tariffs, by causing absolute carnage within the US economy, interest rates and stock markets have plummeted. which allows them then to refinance at much more favourable rates, which keeps their wheels still going round, and then they can tidy it up. What you got to remember as well is insider trading in America is madness, and
There's
it is
certainly
phenomenal
a
how
bit of that going
much
on. Certainly.
money is going to be made there. Read an article that there was never a greater number of billionaires created in the UK than in the 2 year period immediately following COVID. And while people talk about small businesses and how they got massively hit and stuff, you're going, yeah, but a lot of businesses or some businesses did very well. And the government isn't always by the people and for the people, it's for their friends and about their friends. So, but yeah, there is bigger forces at play there than just trying to stick it to China. I do think as well that Trump is very much an isolationist president, and as such will be wanting to bring troops home, focus on their own economy, make America great again. Sorry for the soundbite cliche, but also trying to encourage more employment. Not everybody's liking, but when it actually comes to Amazon, there will be opportunities because, and if you want to get into it, I was watching somebody recently, and what they were saying was there's going to be a lot more localized opportunities within the US for sellers because they'll not be able to bring stock in from China. Everybody won't. So there will be more people buying online, and it'll be come back to like trying to sell toilet roll and hand sanitizer during COVID.
Right.
They'll not be in the shops.
Well, let's get into that then. So, what does that look like for? You've mentioned toilet roll, sanitizer, consumable products. So, obviously, a lot of them are manufactured in China, and that's going to be it's going to be a bottleneck anyway in the short term. So, what are the opportunities that you would see?
So it'll not be them sort of items. I'm trying to find the link that you were asking for where we are live.
Yeah,
It's on the iGen actual page.
the business page or the group?
The iGen page is what it is shared to rather than the group. So
Right.
I can share this into the group.
The one
Second.
place I didn't look for. Right, got you now. Right, okay, found it.
Let me see here. Let me share it over into the other group.
I've got it now. So right,
Good man.
it's the only place I didn't look. The actual business page.
Cool. So yeah, the notion on it is my opinion of a lot, not all, but a lot of items that come in from China as plastic label or private label or plastic tapped. They're low value, they're sold at a higher value, obviously, and a lot of it are non-essential items. You can shoot me down, you can argue that with me, but that is my personal opinion on it. A lot of them items are not going to be viable if you have to put 245% of the price on top of it. So a lot of private label sellers could go to the wall because of that one. All right? It's not going to become viable. If you're buying an item at $10 to try and sell it at $50 to make $10, if you're now buying it at 35, or I'm going to just say 35, I don't know the exact figures, I haven't looked into them that much, to then try and sell it for 85 or 90, it then becomes, the market just isn't there for it. If it's a $50 item, you can't charge 90 for it, expect to still sell. So what's going to happen is a lot of them sort of items are going to stop selling. If you're a seller in North America and you can source similar items locally from wholesale and you start selling them, you're going to find out that your competition is going to disappear if they're bringing it in from China. So it then gives new opportunities. Now, the issue there is trying to find the items that there's going to be, um, and getting them online. But there is going to be opportunities there.
Cool. Yeah, completely agree. There was just a bit of an issue sharing the link there, guys. So I've just done an at everyone tag. If you've got any questions you'd like an answer to, drop them in the comment section. We'll get around to it. So, pretty interesting, sort of common question from Ty McLeod earlier. So, just read it out now, verbatim. Hey all, has anyone successfully managed to remove authenticity violations from their account beyond acknowledging them? As I have purchased from a supplier who has been unable to provide a chain of supply and their invoices have not been accepted. Any ideas would be appreciated.
They can provide a chain of supply. They're choosing not to. It's a big difference. So I had the same issue years ago with an item. It was pink stuff paste, and I got an IP claim on it, and I went to supplier. I was like, listen, you know, ban it from you. I know you're banning it from that brand. I need a paper trail. And I'm like, sure thing. Here's a paper trail. Got the whole paper trail and got it sorted. So it can be done. If it's a cosmetic item that you're buying on clearance from a cosmetic wholesaler or something like that, a lot of the times they don't want you knowing their sources, so they just flat out refuse. So your options are to try and build a better relationship with the supplier, but it depends on the order value. The anonymity of their supply chain is probably worth more to them than the order value that you're placing with them. So no matter how much you polite and argue with them, they're going to say, do one, we would prefer to lose you as a customer than have you know who our suppliers are. Which, depending on the item and what way they're doing it, is understandable.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So therefore, if you don't have the paperwork, your only other alternatives are acknowledge it, which can have an impact on your account health metrics, which is no big deal if they're healthy enough. But if they're not healthy enough, that might be an issue, especially if you've had several in quick succession, the same thing, which can, if you read the small print, says, if you acknowledge us too many times, we will suspend your account. The only other option then available is to ride the wave for 180 days until it just times out off your account. If you don't have the paperwork. Yeah.
Slightly off topic, but there was something you said on Monday that, not name who it was, but there was a client who had a cease and desist letter come through, and she actually turned that into a massive win. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
I don't think Claire would be overly annoyed at me naming her. Was selling an apparel item, was doing 30 or 40 units a day, and there was other sellers on the listing. Everything was going nicely. And the next thing, she got a message through Messenger going, hey, stop selling that. And she's like, no, you don't care for that one. And then they got a solicitor's letter, cease and desist, or, we're going to take you to court. You've no right to be selling this. She's like, it's a generic item, so whatever you want yourself. And she had been purchasing it from Temu, contacted the manufacturer via Temu, and they were like, we don't care who sells it. Here's a letter of authorization to say you can sell this. She then reported the other seller to Amazon and submitted the letter of authorization. The other seller is now not searchable on Amazon. Now, I don't know where they are, but you can't find their account. So that backfired on them. And was trying to order then bigger quantities via Temu, and it wasn't working. So did a bit of homework, found the factory that is manufacturing these, started a conversation, and they were like, send us your logos and whatever you want, and we'll package them up in your box, and you can have everything. And I'm like, bravo! That is how you take a bad situation and turn it to your advantage. And that is
Absolutely.
business. That is business.
There was a few issues just sharing the live at the start, guys, but it's so true. Eamon, you mentioned it's not what happens, it's how you react to them. And there's so many different people trying to, make a success online, but ultimately it's how you approach things and your mindset and your reaction to challenges like that. That's a massive win. It's huge.
Running businesses is hard. If you can't take the slap on the face and go, right, fair enough, and keep going, you'll not last the game, no matter what level you're at. Um, and you need to be able to take the slaps because you will get them. Like, business is not fair. If you want fairness, I don't know, go and get a very nice, quiet job somewhere and hope for the best in that one. But that is why we do it, for the game of it, for the financial resources it provides. Sometimes it's really hard to try and see what the opportunity is, but every problem is an opportunity if you can look hard enough. The opportunity mightn't be overly that wonderful, it mightn't be one you want to take, but there is always opportunities in every scenario. Like, put it like this, that turn that we were talking about at the start, the only reason why we've got a good whack of it done already is because I was for getting it delivered and then sort of spreading it by hand with a wheelbarrow and doing it nice and low. Tried to take a lorry up the front field. It got bogged. We then had to get it pulled out, which then got us thinking about heavier equipment because we needed something to bring it up the field. So then we just went for heavier equipment, which got the job done a hell of a lot quicker. And you're like, yeah, we were thinking too small, and then we changed our thinking. But it took a problem. We have a full tipper lorry with 20 odd ton of tar sitting in the middle of the garden. How are we fixing that problem? To provide other opportunities.
There's a great Stoic quote, I'll probably butcher it, but it's the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So sometimes
that's very deep.
I like my quotes, but I love that one because it's the same with. I remember I used to listen to the video's gone now, but I used to listen to the same sort of quotes every morning, and it was years ago when I was looking at outsourcing to a prep center, and I just couldn't manage prep myself, and I just thought, you know what, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So, and it's the same with everything. So yeah, we've got a few people watching now. So I know James is on, David's on, a couple of Davids watching, I believe. So we don't have a facility with this, Eamon, to
share
sounds
the
like
questions. No.
Sure. Sounds like the postman's at the door there. So if you've got any questions, just drop them below. But we've got a few things that we want to cover anyway. So yeah, IP claims. Do you want to go through a few changes around that?
Yes. I
Yes.
muted myself there so the dog could wished. Cool. Okay. Typical. 1:30, bang on clockwork.
Oh, UPS.
Yeah.
And you're Jaden's on lunch.
Yep. So, yeah, I've just told them to come back tomorrow. Not too bad. Daily deliveries, daily collections. What's the difference in a day? So IP claims his came like just shot in the dark in the middle of the night. We were sitting there, you got a whole lot of emails going, hey, you've got suspected IP claims. Please, tidy up your listing. And then 3 days later, hey, yeah, we've just killed the listing. We had 29. We tidied up 2 very quickly. And the other 27 have been sitting now for well over a week. I have a lot of internal support within Amazon, and I escalated everything to the highest of highest levels. And I got an email back last night, but you didn't use the call us now phone link. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that first because Amazon are a stickler for the processes. Most of them are what would be classified as branded multi-pack bundles. So a 3-pack of Cadbury chocolate, 2-pack of Bounty toilet roll, whatever. And the issue is that if they're under my brand, the bots have come in and said, well, your brand isn't Cadbury's. We need a letter of authorization from Cadbury saying that you can sell this, or alternatively, amend the listing. The problem with that is that once you amend the listing to try and edit images or title, it's not the same listing, and then you can't get it reactivated. Lloyd, give me 1 wee second. Give me your opinions on that.
My opinions on that? Well, we all know my opinions on that are. We've got a few people watching. We've got Daniel Jones, a couple of Davids, and we've also got someone with I don't know if that's Cyrillic language. I was listening, promise, Eamon. I was listening.
Good. So, yeah, the main issue is that if people have put popular, well-known brands under their brand bundle or listing, Amazon's coming in and saying, hey, your brand doesn't match what says quite evidently Cadbury chocolate at the top of that. So you can't just edit that out, because once you edit it out, Amazon goes, but that listing is now different. You've changed your title and you've changed your photographs. It's not the same product. And you can't use an old listing to modify a new version of a product. For example, you can't use the sales history of FIFA 24 to launch FIFA 25. You can't just change the listing. It's FIFA 24 and then it has to be new listing for FIFA 25. So that's a stickler. So what happens is once them ASINs get killed off, they're done. You might get a couple of them back. You might be able to fudge about with images and titles and get a couple of them back, but most likely they're done. And if you're sitting there and you have dozens of listings, granted I have 27 in fact, thanks to my up to 30 now, a couple more last night, you're sitting going, well, that's not good, but it's brilliant. It is utterly, utterly brilliant. Can you tell me why? I bet you don't, because you're not as creative as me.
Well, I could, because you told me you started the week what your viewpoint with it was. The listing might be gone. See, I do listen sometimes, Eamon. I do. I probably listen. I listen to you more than you listen to me. What did I say? So yeah, the listings are gone, but the demand is still there.
Correct.
So when supply is diminished, but demand is still there, then there's definitely an opportunity for people. So how would someone make the most of that?
Go again. Because as I said, you have to be able to take the slap in the face and learn from it. So out of them 27 ASINs, I identified 5 or was it 6 that we are going to relist. And that's that. The other ones, we had other ones where we'd sold maybe 6 units in the last 6 months, and you're like, they were terrible listing anyway. They weren't selling. They've actually done us a favor by going, hey, should you have still had that listing active? Now we do that. Like, not every item you sell is going to be a winner, and you thank it for its time, and you kill it, and you move on. But there will be opportunities there, and it'll help sharpen the blade and focus on what was going well for you and which ones annoy you that are missing, and those are the ones you focus on first. And just think about it. There's 3 or 4 items that I know that I'm not going to sell again, but there's maybe other competitors there, and now I'm gone. I'm out of their hair. So I've decided they're not working for me, but they're working for other people. So I've stepped aside on the traffic that's coming to them. So they'll have to spend less in PPC. They'll get more sales, and it'll all work out. So, yeah, I'm finding a lot more within my own business. I'm focusing in on specific niches. I got an offer yesterday for 1,000 Corolla washable paint sets. I'm like, I could create a listing for that. I could make that work. I could get that going. Like, it's nothing near what we're doing at the minute, and I'm not going there.
I think what would be good to sort of touch on, and I don't want to name names, but in terms of one particular client that we're helping at the moment with through iGen, the level of brands that we're working with there, Eamon, it's pretty spectacular. And it's interesting to see even brands that are literally household names, the opportunity that's still there on Amazon just by simply, doing it properly.
I am incredibly frustrated at myself. There was a brand, I've been selling it on and off for the last sort of year, 18 months. Since September, I have had my own listing there, so I'm doing 1,000 units a month on one ASIN. Went to reorder again from the supplier, and they were like, yeah, so the brand's going to start selling them now on Amazon themselves, so that's a no-go. You can have these alternatives. I'm like, the alternatives don't work. So started doing a little bit of homework. I went onto the brand's, actually I didn't go onto the brand's LinkedIn page yesterday. I got an email for the director of the company, and I wanted to make sure it was correct before emailing it, so I Googled it, and it brought me to their LinkedIn page where a year ago they were like, hey, we're looking for partnerships for people that want to launch and promote our brand. Please contact this email. And it didn't say it, but it's a direct email of the brand owner. He's like, going, a year ago, I was still trying to pull some of them out of B&M bargains, where if I had been thinking at a higher level, there was the owner of multi tens of millions pounds company going, would love people to be working with us. And I could have contacted him and gone, hey, I will put this on Amazon for you. Only I didn't have the nerve to do it. And as a result, they have now just decided to stop it. They're going to do it themselves. And you're like, for the love of all that's good. That is frustrating. But the thing is, they have other brands. They're going well. There's back channel communication between the wholesaler and that brand. They've said, we're happy for me to sell their products, the other lines. And what we made at the minute are going, cool, happy to do that. But I know you haven't launched your full range on Amazon. I have this one ASIN that is all singing, all dancing, A+ content, everything all good. Can you just let me have that one? It's worth $3,000 a month in profit, which is a teacher's salary on its own. And you're like, it's just that one ASIN.
You'd know all about that.
No, I wouldn't. I never got a job.
All right, Daniel, what's in your lunchbox today? Because I know you're watching this over your lunch. Hope things are going well. What else are we going to cover, Mr. McCaffrey? Few more people watching. Interesting. I think on that, there's a question that I just noticed in one of the groups asking around sort of how sellers can protect their listings, brand assets from being cloned, copied.
You can't. You really can't. Because, trademark it, great. If you want to stop, it goes back to the whole adage of a lock only keeps out an honest person. And it's the same thing. So I go and I set up a brand and I want to sell Stanley water jugs. Okay? Stanley, great. There is nothing to stop you going, manufacturing and calling this, Jimmy's water jugs. It's not Stanley. It looks the exact same. You can sell the same one. People will come on to Amazon and be like, it's Jimmy, Stanley, what's the difference? And just doing it out that way. You can say, hey, it looks the same, stuff like that. Fine, sue me, take me to court. Going to be a lot of back and forth. There's going to be a lot of things. It's going to cost you a lot of money. If you've deep pocket, of course you can do it. If not, say for example, you've went on this unique product and you've patented it. and you went down the road and went through all that there, and you start selling it on Amazon, you start selling your own website, and everything's going well. Amazon might go, hey, we want to buy it off you. You're like, no, things are going well. I'm going to do it myself. And Amazon like, okay, we just need to make sure it's authentic. Please send us an invoice. Redact the pricing policy, but we need contact details. Or maybe they don't, and they just go on to the next time they're at the Canton Fair, and they go and they find a manufacturer, and they say, we want to make Amazon own brand water jugs. And the next thing, your listing is suddenly not getting traffic, and there's a new listing, Amazon unique brand, and it is getting all the traffic. There's no way around that. So you say, stuff it, screw Amazon, we'll dump them, we're going to go on our own page, we're going to do all that there. So you're on your own website. Great. Then Lloyd Jones starts setting up his own website, doing his own thing as well, but he's got influencers going, Jones's is the original. Put it like this. Kodak was the first to develop a digital camera. They would develop the first digital camera, and the powers that be at the board of directors were like, digital? Nah. Films where it's at, screw digital. And they benched it, and their competitors brought out digital and moved on. And Kodak is now, for all intents and purposes, done. So can you ever protect your brand and your products? No. There will always be a means for another competitor to get the market share and take sales off you. So what do? Make hay while the sun shines, adapt, improvise, overcome, be creative, bring out new products, new ideas. Even Apple, they're a $1 billion company, $1 trillion company, I think, actually.
I think they have $1 billion fine recently. Them and Meta. Anyways,
they still have issues with corporate espionage, product ideas, patents, ideas, and stuff like that. Their biggest competitor, I would argue, is Samsung, and trying to get market share. The only way they can maintain on is product development, innovation, and the relationship with the customer. And I don't know how much you want to get into the whole notion with our good friend DC. But the one thing that I always thought was very funny when we talk about people that are brand builders and building the best brands in the world, is going, but you're only ever selling it on a marketplace platform, i.e. Amazon. You didn't ever have your own customers. A brand is the relationship between your organization, your products, and your customers. If your customers can't go, but I want Eamon McCaffrey's product rather than Lloyd Jones's, you don't have a brand. You've got a trademark name or logo on a selling platform. And don't ever have the notions of thinking you've got someone else. And people will argue black and blue, and I'm saying that's probably offended a few people. But why not phone your top 10 most loyal customers and ask them to leave a review saying that I'm wrong? Oh, wait, you can't because Amazon forbids you from talking to them.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it, certainly.
Take on it? It is the gospel honest truth, Mr. Jones. A brand without the connection to your customers is nothing. So if you've got your own brand labels in Amazon, don't ever be fooled into thinking that you've got a brand. You don't until you can directly contact your customers. They're always Amazon's customers. And you don't have a brand following.
That's pretty much, if you watch Dragon's Den, anyone that comes on and says, I've done X amount of sales across Amazon, they all sort of drop their heads and go, you don't really have a product here. You're leveraging someone else's platform.
Yeah. No. That's not to say you don't have a product, but until you have a means of communicating customers directly, you're always going to be at the obligation of Amazon. And I'm the same. I'm in the exact same boat, but I'm not as soft as to not have identified that. Oh.
What was that quote you said? A lock only ever keeps out an honest person.
Yes.
Never heard that before. I like that. It's great.
Lloyd, I've just launched a new private label item while I am sitting on this call. Can I please tell you the background story? I'm all chuffed
Go
with
for it.
myself. So, how do I say this with a bit level of humility?
Be your first time for that, Eamon. Just fucking say what you're going to say.
Dan Pena will come out and say that every so often you need to go and smell the leather. If you want to be driving Ferraris and you can't afford them, go and rent a Ferrari for the day, so you know what it feels like, and it'll motivate you to drive you on. He also goes around and said that you are the sum of your environment, and if you want to be speaking to people that are at a high level of trading, you need to be putting yourself in sort of situations and positions of where they are. The gym that I go to is quite expensive, in my opinion. But as a result, the people that are in it are quite affluent and are quite well connected. Like, I sat the other day and had a conversation with an architect, a property developer, and somebody that runs their own business. You've been going, it's a nice little circle to be in. There's a guy in it that I was talking to and telling him about Amazon, trying to explain it to him. He runs a private healthcare company in the south of Ireland. So chatting business, margins, stuff like that there. I said there was a particular product that I sell a lot of, and he mentioned another variation within the range. I was like, I would love to have that, but can't get my hands on it. And he goes, how much do you want? I'm like, how much can you get? And he goes, oh, we've the sole distribution for all of Ireland, so we can get loads of that. I'm like, is that right? So, we're there to go to the gym. I don't want to be doing too much business. Don't want to be torturing him. And he goes, hey, you selling Amazon? I've got this really nice tea product they got out of Vietnam. I had a friend in Vietnam the other day. They brought me back a couple of products. It's brilliant. I've searched everywhere. I can't get it. I goes, I can get it. And he goes, no, you can't. Well, I've looked everywhere. And I'm like, get me the name, get me a photograph of it. I will get you the product. So he brought me in an empty box. There's it there, And I was like, dead on. I goes, I'll get it. And I was in the gym, not yesterday evening, obviously coaching Tuesday evening. And he goes, well, how'd you get on? I goes, I've got it. And he goes, no, you didn't. I was like, well, the QR code on the side of the box was a great help to start with. So I have contacted the company, which are in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And I'm like, I want to start buying this. And the reason why I'm so chuffed with it is minimum orders, 100 boxes, not a bother. I'll give him half a dozen boxes and I'll stick the rest on Amazon. And if there's a guy at that level sitting going, I really want this product, it's amazing, I'm getting people when they go to Vietnam to bring it home for me, I'm pretty sure I can make that sell on Amazon.
Yeah, it's not just going to be him. There'll be a market for
No, there will be more people that will want that. And there
especially
you go.
on Amazon, yeah. Perfect.
That is how I like the game of it. Quick question, trivia, completely off the thing. QR code. What does the QR stand for?
Something recognition. I'm
Quick
half
reference.
there. Quick reference. Right, okay. Quick reference code. Yeah,
sorry, quick response. I was wrong. Quick response. Quick response. Yep. But yeah, so that's when you're talking about opportunities in Amazon. So that item, bring it in from Vietnam. I've never shipped in from Vietnam before. I'll have to figure out the logistics of that, but be a bit of a game.
Do you know anyone with a warehouse
in Vietnam? Not
here?
Since the mid-70s.
Anyone here, Eamon?
Anyone here with a warehouse? You're right. Our best bet's probably no. I know you're probably suggesting me, but no. He brings in stuff from China though. But yeah, I've never brought in from Vietnam before, but it would be interesting. But this is what I like about Amazon. It's just a game. I only did that to help out a friend. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Love it. Right, we'll wrap up soon. There's an hour flown in. What have we been doing with iGen? We've been pretty busy there as well.
Have I?
Well, you locked yourself in a room for about 6 weeks, putting together a brand new program.
It was a bit more than that. Yeah, that program, there was a lot of work went into it. I remember one day sitting for 7 hours and recording 15 minutes. There was a lot of work went into that.
That must have been a hell of a 15 minutes, Sam.
Everybody left happy. So yeah, when I started looking at where we are within iGen and the support we offer to clients, the natural progression when I started within the Amazon industry was you did RA, you started into OA, some people did wholesale and then private label. And when I looked at what we were offering as support, we had the arbitrage, which was retail, OA, wholesale, which I still argue is by definition arbitrage as well, but we had it as its own separate offering. And more people are sitting going, I want to do private label, I want to do own brand, I want to create my own listings, I want to do something from that, I want to build something for me. I'm like, okay. So I sat down and put content out about it. And for a long time, I was like, but hang on a minute. It's not as if I'm running multi-million-pound brands that I'm a big authority on it. And I thought about for ages, like, well, how can I be doing this? Yes, I'm doing my own listings on Amazon. They're going quite well, but I don't have my own recognizable physical brand that, going to trade shows and stuff. And they're like, yeah, but I do have a master's degree on the theory behind it all. And I am doing certain aspects of it. So I'm pretty sure I'm covered from that respect. And it was amazing once you get into it, how much of it was like, actually, I've studied this at quite in depth. So we've built that out. For any clients, it is there. It is on the platform for no additional cost because we've made our money. But what we are now starting to do is move from using Facebook groups for support and Thinkific for recording the content into having everything within a school community. Reason being, more and more often people are going, I don't really use Facebook anymore. Or, yeah, I couldn't find it. Which group is it? Oh, there's that many groups and there's too much noise. So we've decided we're moving to school community. Should have a little bit more of a tighter community feel to it. All the content will be there. All the support will be there. Let's face it, most clients still have my phone number, so anybody who really wants to speak to me can still just phone me because it's what happens anyway. But we will be able to deliver out. But like I woke up this morning, no exaggeration, 100 unread Facebook messages. Now, granted, most of them are just notifications, you just acknowledge and move on. But it's very easy for somebody going, hey man, I'm really stuck. I need help. Can I have a 5-minute call today to get disappear within that? And then they're sitting going, well, he's dead on. He never even or he read the message and never acknowledged it because I read it at 6 o'clock this morning when I was doing a bottle feed. So we're hoping that it'll move away from drama like that being caused.
I don't think there's really that much drama around that. It's just what I've noticed as well, Eamon, is that we have a system where everyone has their own group chat, or did have their own group chat, and we'll move away from that. And there's so much value going to one person that can be valuable for other people as well. And it's just getting lost. So if we have it all in the same place, it'll benefit not just the person who wants that help, but also someone who's about to make that mistake or about to, think about doing something differently. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it so far. We set it up yesterday and we're going to just transition everything across. So yeah, really happy with it so far.
Well, as long as you're happy, sir, that's what we're aiming for here.
Yeah, Eamon's aiming for happiness. So yeah, guys, I know it's not been as interactive with this one because of the platform, but any other questions? Hang around for a couple of minutes here, and as soon as this video recording is finished, Eamon's going to whip off that shirt, put the high vis on, and get back at it. Might do some tartan cutting as well.
they came a day early. They weren't meant to come to this evening because
Oh, you did say that.
I have a call at 2:30 with my Amazon technical manager, and then I've got a call at 4 with my current account manager, my new account manager, and my inventory management manager to go through everything. You're sitting going, lads, that's an awful lot of managers. And then you still phone them like, but you didn't go through the correct process of raising the cases, so we can't escalate it until you click that one button. And you're like, $2,000 a month for that? Really? So yeah, it's a curious one. So yeah, get that done. But yeah, the minute that's done, back out into the bobcats and the roller. Come on up. That roller just crushes everything.
Actually, that would be a bit of crack to,
Yeah.
the ruler.
Yeah. I was at an auction there the other night. It was up in Ballymena, and there was like store frontage that had been recently taken off a building,
Right.
bright blue lettering, and I was thinking I'm just going to put it in my driveway and just flatten it into it. Nice bright and blue. Just says FBA, you know. I think it'd be
Oh, I thought there's a co-op closed down. Not co-op, no?
no.
No. Oh, okay. I've not heard of that other business. So. Oh, well. Comes and goes. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to cover in?
Not particularly. One last thing I would sort of say is, yeah, within any business, there's always going to be challenges. If you're stuck and I can help, give me a shout. I'll do my best. I find business sometimes business is a bit like emails. Like I'll get emails that'll come in and be like urgent, and I'll just not do anything for a week, and then you're like, it wasn't that urgent, was it? And just delete, and the issue's resolved itself. Or maybe that's because I have a team of staff and they fix most of its stuff for me. But yeah, a lot of times time is the best solution for a lot of problems. Or maybe I'm just getting too philosophical now. Pull your thumb out of yours and work a bit harder.
That too. On that bombshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. We'll try and do this a little bit more regularly in the school group and across Facebook, and yeah, just keep in touch with you guys. Back to record number of VAs that we're currently training. How many are we training at the moment?
Somewhere between 20 and 30 in the last count. No, that's how many people are standing waiting in one. But yeah, there is about 20 coming through training at the moment as well.
I think with the sign off on 9 or 10 of them this week, haven't we?
Yep. So that'll be good.
Yeah. Anyways. So don't be a stranger, guys. If you want to get in touch about anything, chat, interested in any sort of support, yeah, get in touch and don't be a stranger.
Cool. See you soon, everyone. Cheers.